Welcome to another episode of Thrive Talks. Spikram, we got Drew, we got Jermaine. So just wanna, I guess start the conversation by speaking about some good news. I had an interview today. And it was in my field and with videos and marketing and using my whole skill set instead of just maybe a part of it. And I had a friend say, it's good to see all the stuff you did to get noticed and then it being noticed, right? And then I was walking to school at the time and I thought of Jay. And Jay had mentioned to me that you never know who's watching, You never know who's watching, so always put in that work, And that reminded me of opportunity, right? And what opportunity means and how we create opportunity. So I guess I just wanted to ask, what does opportunity mean to you guys?
You go first, bro.
Opportunity is just an opening. It's seizing the moment and then going towards it. And it's you got to take every opportunity, everything that's there, because you never know what you're going to learn. You don't know who you're going to come across. You don't know the conversations you're going to have, and I think with the opportunity is openness. You have to be open to accept opportunity. Without that, you want to stay in your comfort zone, and it's hard, man. It's something that I had to even practice to just come out the comfort zone and to be who you are. And then as you become who you are, then the opportunities start to flow. So opportunity is huge. It's huge. You don't want to pass it up. You don't want to downplay it. You want to really use it, and that could be something that propels you into the future. It could be the stepping stone to get to the next stone. So when you're talking about opportunity, I just say I always think about opportunity. I think about being open to discover something new. That's what opportunity is to me.
Right.
That's amazing.
So how would you know a good opportunity? How do you know, okay, something came across your table. It's no, pay attention to this. Pay attention to this. Open your ears, open your eyes. What's happening in front of you is very important. And you need to, keep on your P's and Q's and don't, mess this up. And that's an opportunity. How do you differentiate and know that type of opportunity has crossed your table?
It's just alignment. You'll know. You'll know if it feels good. You'll know if it may be challenging, right? Because we think of opportunity always easy. That's not going to be the case either. Sometimes your opportunity is a challenge, and it's exploring something that you think you couldn't overcome, and then as you overcome it, you start to get the confidence. So opportunity is anything that will make you better, right? It's not a sign. It's not going to say, here's the opportunity. Sometimes we got to make an opportunity happen. Sometimes the opportunity is not there, but you see where you can add value. So it's looking at it and saying, okay, what's going wrong? This is an opportunity for me to step up. An opportunity is not always something that you get. Sometimes it's opportunity something that you have to do. So, for example, when Drew's talking about fighting for his rights and fighting for his children's rights, that's an opportunity to fight for your children's rights. It's not something given. It's something that must be used. So an opportunity is something to make you better. You may not gain anything from it. You might provide something to someone else. So I look at it, every day is an opportunity. Every day is an opportunity to learn something. Every day is an opportunity to develop another skill set. Every day is an opportunity to make yourself an asset and not a liability. And that's the key. I said, any job you go to, what are you gaining from it? What skills are you getting from it? You're not just going there and spending time. You're using the time. I remember when Drew spoke about the guy that was in prison. And He said about using the time. This is the same thing that you have to do for an opportunity, for a job, for whatever experience you have. You must use it. Use the time that you're given. Don't waste it. So an opportunity is something that you could use to get yourself to be better than you were.
I like how you said that everything's an opportunity. Every moment's an opportunity. And you can actually flip any situation into becoming an opportunity.
Yeah.
like Jay, you mentioned like you weren't feeling so good today. You know what I mean? And I don't even know what's going on. I want to ask like what's going on, how you feeling. But now that you can look at that situation and turn it into an opportunity to get better. Maybe there's something that you can do better to not, avoid this feeling or avoid getting sick, or maybe not go to a certain place. I don't know, maybe avoid a certain food. But could you speak on that a little bit, like how you're feeling and like?
Today I was just, the last 2 days I just been feeling under the weather, just not feeling like myself.
I hear it in your voice.
Yeah, and it's almost a trigger, right? Because when you've been sick before to a certain extent that I've been, when you get sick for a common cold, you don't treat it like a common cold, right? You're thinking maybe it's going to escalate.
So your defenses are up.
Yeah, so it's like when I get sick, it's almost I have to keep my spirits up because it's almost discouraging. Because I'm like, man, I'm going to lose progress. I'm going to regress. So all these things are a trigger. Like even if I'm, I could speak upon even my job, for example, and I know this is kind of getting off a little bit. Mm-hmm. But, even when someone calls me and they say, I have to talk to you about something, it's always a trigger. It's a trigger when someone called me about my sister. So I think the bad things, and I didn't realize that. And it's like, that's why sometimes I'm like, if someone says that, I'm like, I get nervous, I get anxious. And especially if say if they're going to say, I'm going to call you on Friday and they don't call me on Monday. So now Saturday and Sunday, I'm thinking about what may be going on, So, but it's by going through these certain things, and it's an opportunity for me to actually experience and know who I am and why that these triggers happen. So it is an opportunity to get to know myself. It's an opportunity to figure out what bugs me. What bugs me, what makes me happy, what makes me feel loved, what makes me feel joy. All these things are an opportunity. So a lot of times when I do get sick, I do a lot of reflecting. I reflect about what is it that I want in life? Is this the life I want? Is it about getting possessions? Is it about fame? Is it about whatever it is? Or is it just about just truly being your best self? So that in itself is an opportunity. It's an opportunity to reflect. It's an opportunity to be that person that I want to be. And that has nothing to do with accolades. It has nothing to do with degrees. It has nothing to do with any of those things. It's just what it is. It's an opportunity just to try to be my best self. That's the only thing I'm thinking about, being my best self, being being the best father, being the best friend, being the best uncle, being the best, all these things. And it's truly hard because it takes time, right? Like there's a lot of things that I excel in, but there's things that I'm weak in. There's a lot. But the things that I'm weak in is an opportunity to strengthen it. So everything that you are struggling with or you're not as good with, it's an opportunity to get better. It's an opportunity to learn a new skill. It's an opportunity. So when you always look at things that it's hard, it's opportunity. When it's easy, it's an opportunity. Everything is an opportunity depending on how you spin it.
Love it.
Don't get it twisted either. Like, I know Jay's feeling like whatever. The other day we're at the gym. I just get in there last minute. You know what I mean? I just, I get on the pull-up bar, I was just doing a couple chin-ups. Next thing you know, Jay's just fucking busting them out, right? now it's like there's 3 of them, you know what I mean? I'm seeing them too, and it's like getting a little competitive, right? They do their little, pull-up competition, and
Were you really competing, or did he just think that?
No, I'm always competing.
No. Actually, usually Jay don't like. He'll show off to an extent, but not really. You know what I mean?
I look at him as showing off to himself because what else does he have to show us? Like
no, but because when I first met him, he had this vest, and I got the vest in the garage. You know what I mean?
I'm wearing it now. I'm trying to be like that.
You know what I mean? And Jay's like, yo, if I train with this, once I get to New York, that's gonna be baby weights. You know what I mean? Like get in the jungle. And so, anyways, it's just funny to me because we get on the dips, and now I'm included too. I think I did 18, and then Jay goes for 19, 20, 21.
Oh, he always adds one more.
No, he went to like 32 or something. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's why it's so different, because we usually see Jay just on. You're just on 21st, like, just on. And when you speak on this story, and like not even just your story, but feeling and like actually being down, then you have to reflect. And it makes me reflect on the fact that, like, when we do get down, we do have to look at every corner, like, and we have no other choice, because we're looking at the dark corners of the room that we were avoiding maybe by being so fast and moving so quick, and not trying to think about things. So, and then that way use it as an opportunity to learn yourself better. And so when you're coming out of this, you're going to come out, more complete, more whole, and make better choices.
The thing is, it's hard, man, because, and this, like, it's weird, because when I do feel some sickness coming on, I think really, really deep, like really deep. And then I just think about life, man. And I start to think about others, even though every time I feel sick, I think about others. I think about who's going through what, and that pain, and I was, like today I was talking to my VP today, and I was just, sharing some things with him as far as like things that I want to do. I want to elevate this. I want to make it a lot better. And that I'm not just here just to buy time. That's not what I'm here to do. This is an opportunity for me to showcase my skill set, to showcase what I can do. But like I told him too, I said, there's been times where I worked at the mental health residence, and it was an opportunity to learn them. I've never been around mental health situations like that, and at first it was very uncomfortable. I was very nervous, pretty much. I didn't know what they were going to do, to be honest. And then as I started to get to know them, it was an opportunity for me to grow. Like, I started growing, and I started being even more empathetic and saying, man, that could be me, that could be my cousin, that could be my nephew, that could be my son, that could be my daughter, that could be my mother, right? You start seeing that, and then the empathy starts to flow, because you're not just thinking about you. You're thinking about the people out there, and you're thinking about what made these people do these things, and what made these people go out, and then now they're like, they have no home, and they're on drugs, and it's weird, because I start reflecting on all those things, but it's an opportunity for us to go out there and help somebody. It's an opportunity to provide the resources that these people do need. It's an opportunity. So when things are not going good, and there's a lot of things in the city that's not going good, what do? Right? Do you sit back and you just say, well, we can't do anything? Or is that an opportunity for you to step up as a leader? Just like if you're playing on a team's going bad, it's not doing well, it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity to step up. It's an opportunity to prove yourself. It's an opportunity to lead these guys. It's an opportunity to reach down deep in yourself and see what you're really made of, because we have to have these challenges to see what we're truly made of. These challenges that I went through, it was an opportunity to see who I am, right? It's always an opportunity. You get into an argument with your kids, it's an opportunity to try to resolve it in a different fashion than you would solve it before. You get into an argument with your friends, it's an opportunity. And these things are not fun. I don't want challenges. I don't look for them. I don't seek them. But they're necessary for the growth of you as a person. And it's an opportunity for you to become who you want to be. So opportunity is everywhere. Everywhere there's an opportunity to be nice to someone, open up a door. It's an opportunity to pay for someone's lunch. It's an opportunity to show kindness. So life is full of opportunities, but you got to have your eyes. You got to have your eyes right to see them. Because sometimes we're walking around in shades and we don't realize all these opportunities that presents us. Like, these jobs are not for you to do the job. These jobs are to showcase yourself. This schoolwork is to really showcase your determination, your resilience. That's what the opportunity is. And I don't care if you fail at it. See, sometimes we associate the failure with like, oh, this is not for me. No, that failure is the opportunity so you can be who you're supposed to be, because you have to experience failure to be that. If we always experience success, you don't know if you're resilient. You don't know if you have it. And I think those things are to be worked on, to be built on, to be practiced, because they're not just going to be there. You have to practice these things, practice getting yourself out the bubble, practice even going to a different city and having a conversation with someone that you normally never would have. And those are all great opportunities.
You know, I love how you mentioned that opportunity is right in front of you at all times. But I also agree with the fact that, you know, don't be down on yourself when it don't go your way, you know, and always pursue every moment as an opportunity, because it is the present moment and it is the present. So many times I even look and I bypass all of the beautiful things about the moment because I'm stuck in the past or I'm stuck in the future, you know, or I'm stuck in my own anxiety, or I made my own story up. Now I made my own story up. Now I'm fighting people that don't even exist. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you know, get in the moment. What a beautiful, like before this podcast, I'm sitting there having some tea and I'm about to have some fun, and I'm feeling that fun feeling, like, you know, we get to do this, we get to, you know, create something. And but I love that. And Drew, I actually want to hear some more from you, man. I want to hear an opportunity. Actually, what I want to hear, and what I think would be very beneficial for everyone to hear, is like maybe a tough time that you converted and you flipped into it being an opportunity.
That's a little tough to answer, but I'll say this. I think every hardship we go through, it was an opportunity the whole time. We just don't see it as that. We're in pain, we're suffering, we're going through it, trials and tribulations. We might feel some type of way. We might feel alone. We might feel abandoned. We might feel like people weren't loyal and stabbed us in the back, or whatever the case is in those hardships. But when you come through the other side and you keep fighting, that the whole time, that was an opportunity for you to grow. And what do you do in the end? When you come through, you grow. So, and from what you're saying, it's like, you don't know it's an opportunity until it already happened.
Sure.
So that's why the only reason I can't answer direct.
I got something for you.
Yeah.
I got something for you.
Let's go.
All right. What did you learn from your daughter when you were going through like some turbulent times?
Yeah, so I was actually going to get to that ultimately, but again, that was a tough time. And, you know, being a dad of a daughter, it's not easy in this world. We all know that. And, you know, I had certain things, like, I guess you would call them rules, that I wanted her to adhere by. And when they weren't met, I put my foot down and did the one thing that I never did, which was kick her out. And she was always like close. I kept her close. We had a really tight bond. So that was a tough day for both of us. And it actually happened on Remembrance Day of all days. So I would never forget that. All right. And so I'm happy she's back before Remembrance Day. So Remembrance Day comes up, I don't have to sit there like, oh my God. But it created an opportunity for me to learn that I could have handled the whole thing better. I could have not said certain things. I could have not yelled that loud. I could have not smacked that cupboard. I could have, turned it into a teachable lesson instead of kind of pushing her away and just saying, oh, you screwed up, bye. Because now you got this young adult whose frontal lobe is not fully developed yet, not until their 20s. And they're left in a situation where they've never been before because they're always with their dad. They always go to their dad for insight and stuff like that. And now they got to go through this different time in their life without that one person. And I didn't think about that. I just thought about, you disobeyed me. Bye. And what happened was it created an opportunity for me to dig deep within myself and realize you could have done it better. But when you do have another opportunity, make it right. Say the things that you could have said and make sure she hears that. Because, I go out the door, get hit by a car. I never said those things.
For sure.
And boom, it's all gone. And so within 2 weeks, because I'm one of those people, if I'm like against what you're doing, I take a stand and I stay there firm. But she's the only person in my world, in my life, in my history, where I changed my behavior. I said, no, I'm not going to do what I've been doing to everybody else in a conflict. This is my daughter, and I'm her dad, and we only got one, right? So I created something new within myself, and I sucked it up, swallowed my pride, picked her up, took her out for lunch, told her what she needed to hear, told her I was very sorry. I was crying, like, you know, very tough situation. But again, I thought that saying that would kind of make things better, that it would bring her home, but it didn't, because she's a teenager. She wants to rebel, and she kind of wants me to kind of eat my words, you know. And through doing that, she forced me to another opportunity where I leveled up again and just became this different breed of father, where I'm like, I'm listening to every word she says, and I'm really taking it all in, and I'm understanding from her point of view, and I'm putting myself in her shoes, and then I'm able to actually connect with my daughter on a better and higher level. And now I'm starting to see like layers and layers of her brilliance, her intelligence, the way she thinks, the way she ticks, and the way I think and tick. And so your question was, you know, was there an opportunity in this? It made us closer than ever. And, you know, I don't want to air all kinds of dirty laundry, but there's opportunities within families, within the conflicts, for the family to resolve it, come out the other side and get closer. There's opportunities for you to be a better son. You know, have you been helping your mom lately, or your dad? Ask yourself these questions, because you'll never know if you're getting better if you don't actually apply. Like, you know, I have a lot on my plate right now, a lot. And sometimes I worry, you know, can I keep up? But I think something big is coming. That's what I believe. And I believe that everything that's on my plate right now is building me for that. So I'm looking at all of it as an opportunity. Everyone out there, they will want to complain as things pop up. You know, the job ain't going so well for you. But day one, when you were hired, you were excited because you were thinking about the money. You got a money raise. So, you know, but when I used to get a job, the first question my dad always had for me was, is there an opportunity for you to move up? If there wasn't, then it wasn't considered, it's a dead end job.
For sure.
And so those jobs I'll take it for now to fill in the time while I'm, you know, down and out, but I'm always looking for other opportunities. And when you get the job that pays you more, is it hurting you? Is it adding value to you? Are you learning a skill? Are they training you in something that you didn't know before? You have to ask those questions. And not just with that, with everything, with life. You know, this was an opportunity. When you guys went live and basically invited whoever wanted to come on, I pressed the button. Didn't realize it was going to take me, you know, to this. And I think this is episode 15 now. Yeah. So we took an opportunity, all three of us, and we created this. And that's not counting all the hours we put in before we even started the actual podcast. So opportunities are everywhere, like he said. I'm just going to say one more thing related to my son. Taking care of him was hell in the beginning. Very difficult to understand him. He couldn't tell you something's wrong. Head hitting, self-interest behavior, always in pain, always crying, staying up all night, smashing the walls, and you're a parent, you feel helpless. You feel like, you know, I really want to help this kid. He's bleeding because he's smashing his arm against something, and you feel like you're the reason. Like you're the problem, and you need to, you know, maybe give it. I actually considered like maybe we can't help this kid. You know, we felt that helpless, but had an opportunity to go and get to get him trained. But what did I learn in the training to teach my son how to live and how to deal with certain things and how to manage certain situations? I learned that the training was actually for me. It was to help me learn my son so that I could properly and adequately train him and parent him. And by doing that or going through that whole process, I realized that after it all, that there was the right thing to do to take that opportunity, because it led me on this road where I literally put so much time into knowing my son. When he's standing there, I can tell when he's getting agitated before anyone else can. He gets tense. You try to bring him with you, he tenses up and won't move. And so in these moments, grab a water bottle. Here you go, buddy. He cakes it. He likes to fidget the lid on and off the bottle. You have to learn your son when he's autistic or when you have a special needs kid. you're learning them. These are opportunities to actually sit down and bond with them and actually get to know what triggers them, what helps them. And it's all about stimulation. And I would have never known any of that stuff if I didn't take that opportunity. So that's what I would say.
Oh man, that's beautiful, man. It truly is, man, because relationships are. I find that relationships are the hardest thing in my life. Like as far as it could be a relationship with your sister, your brother, your mother, your kids. I find relationships harder to me, right? Just because I know I can set my eyes on a prize and I can go full throttle and I won't stop. But then sometimes I'll forget about the others as I'm going. And just listening to you talk about your son, talk about your daughter, it makes me reflect on my life, right? Who am I? I could be a person that wins 1,000 awards. What does it mean? It doesn't mean anything. Especially if it doesn't mean anything, if you don't have the right people to share it with, right? The opportunity is to share your winning with the loved ones that you have. That's your opportunity. Your opportunity is to do good things for them. Like I tell people, I said, I'm so focused on what I need to do and it's for them.
Right.
It's not even for me. It's not, because I could be content just doing nothing, not much. Like obviously I would want to do something, but I never had a desire to have the biggest house. I never had a desire to have the best car. I always had a desire to be the best I could be. That was my thing. That's the only thing I cared about. Can I be the best person I can be? And there's been times I fell short, and then I would get discouraged and beat myself down a bit because I'm like, man, I could be better than this, man. And it's not that someone told me that I could be better than this. I knew I could be better than this. Man, maybe I should have handled the situation better. Man, maybe I should have never got mad. Maybe I should have never got angry. Man, maybe I should have communicated better, right? So when I'm talking to this, it's fun because sometimes our podcasts are upbeat, sometimes they're just sharing, right? And just being authentic and saying, you know what, I don't have all the answers, but one thing about me is I'll just keep fighting. That's one thing that would never die with me.
Yeah.
I'll keep fighting. I'll fight to the death. And I might be doing it all wrong, but you'll know that I care. I care about you. So, you know.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I seen Paulo at the gym, right? And I just, obviously, I feel like I know him just through you, right? So, like, we dap up, we're talking about you. He's like, me and Jay, he's like, man, we used to get in the car, and it would just be him, Jay, and Jay's son, that they would just be working. And they'd get in the car, and they would spend hours in the car, and, like, they would be drawing planes in the dust. Like drawing plays in the dust, like, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, man, what a story, you know what I mean? And like the impact this kid, now he's a police officer, but that was his dream. And like how he speaks about you, it says a lot about, the impact that you've had, And then I also see you, Drew, and like the darkness turned into light, And that's like the most beautiful thing. Sometimes I imagine it like a slingshot. Like the further it takes you to the back, it might get dark, it might get tense, but when you let that thing go, it's gone, and it's all, you're getting prepared for that moment. I'm looking at you and I see even that logo. I'm like, damn, Drew came a long way. Like that logo right there is one man on top of a mountain helping another man that's under him and putting his hand out. If you didn't go through all that, you didn't go through, getting getting too much weight or, I'm trying to say the nicest way possible, but you know what I mean? Like, you didn't go through all that, you know, with whatever challenges you went through, and out of it came Mason Soul Solutions. Out of it came Healthy Wings that, you know, win award, you know, or win a second in the city. Those Healthy Wings wouldn't even exist if you didn't go through what you went through. You know what I mean? And then I also think about you, and you're consistently hitting that bag. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna see you hitting that bag. Drew's gonna hit that bag, you know? Drew's gonna, like, you know, be there, right? And so, you know, I think you should be really proud of yourself, honestly, because like you know, and for you to show up every day in and day out, that's a lot, you know, and like, you know, I commend you, brother. And man, like, you know, just it's a beautiful thing. I'm writing notes for things I gotta do.
If you think about it as this, we always look at an opportunity for us.
Yeah.
We don't think about the opportunity of others. We have an opportunity to acknowledge someone, to say, you know what, brother, I see you. That's an opportunity to keep going, keep pushing. I see it. You know what I mean? I'm inspired by you. You know, I tell people all the time, I said, man, you inspired me. You know, I'm at the gym, I tell people, I said, man, you looking good, man. You looking good, man. You know, and they're like, you know, thank you, right? In my head, I probably do look better than you.
He just had to throw that in there. I swear to God.
But
JJ could be crying, be like, I still look better than you, bro.
And he was honestly trying to spin it too.
So right, like, so you
don't get it twisted, cuz.
right. So you get to that point, and it's not to say I look better than you, so I can't see what you're doing. Yeah. Right? It's an opportunity to say, bro, you're doing good. Mm-hmm. And I don't, you know, a lot of times when you say you're looking good, someone else say it back, right? But you don't need it back, right? You just want to say, you know what? I see you looking good. I'm not competing with you. Mm-hmm. I see you competing against yourself, and you're winning. That's what it is. You're winning. You're going out there and you're doing what you're supposed to do, and that inspires me. There's so many people that inspire me and that I take things from, and they may not even think they're inspiring me. They inspire me with just their heart. They inspire me just their existence. They inspire me with all these things. You know, so, you know, just a couple of days ago, I was doing something at my place, you know, doing some different decorating and stuff like that. And my sister's boyfriend came by to, you know, he helped me put up the TV, fireplace. You know, he helped me with some things. And it was an opportunity to get to know him.
Okay.
Right? Like, I knew him, you know, I knew him before, and I thought he was a good guy, but it was an opportunity for us to share that moment, just me and him, without my sister being there.
Beautiful.
Right? And getting to know him and saying, you know what, I respect you. You know, I like you, I respect you, and I'm here for you, you know? And we shared that same thing together and saying, you know, whatever I think I can help you with, because we're family now, you know, I'm going to help you.
And that's dope, because you both acquired a new person. You know, it's like part of the collection, if you will.
Yeah, because she acquired a new person, and that new person, you know, is now part of my family, right?
It's beautiful.
So we got to take these opportunities to share love, to share compliments, to encourage. I don't want to be that person who discourages anybody no more. Yeah. You know, and there's probably been times where I did discourage someone.
Same.
You know, and just because I was unhappy of how it was going, and then I didn't know how to do it. You know, I didn't know how to get them to motivate them. Like, I thought it was my way. You know, it's always been my way. And even going to do this job, even though it's, you know, it's something that I enjoy, but it's to teach me something too. Mm-hmm. Okay, how can you handle criticism? How can you handle some other leadership? And even though you may not agree with how they're leading, but how do you deal with it? So that's an opportunity for you to grow. So when you become a leader, how do you lead? You know, so I take a lot of things from you, Big. I take a lot of things from you, Drew. Like, even though you may thinking I'm leading you, mm-hmm. but I see what you guys are doing too. And I try to incorporate the good things that you have inside of me. So the people that you're around is always an opportunity. Right. You know, I listened to one person and they said, if you're around a positive person, you will work 15% better. if you're around a negative person, you will work 30% less, right? So be careful with the company you keep, right? Make sure that they're because sometimes you're just around someone who's working hard and you get inspired.
Yeah.
You see them at the gym, you're like, wow, you know what, man, they're pushing it. They're pushing it, right? And then it's like, the last thing I want to say is, I remember I looked at the gym the other day, I kind of regret it because I seen a person who was like, they looked like they had some form of disability and they were having a hard time walking, but I messed up the opportunity because that was the opportunity I could have said, you know what, I see you. And even though that they were with a trainer and they were still, they didn't need the help, but I'm like, man, how would I have felt if I would have said something? I didn't say anything bad. I didn't look at her bad, but how would it felt to her if I would have said, you know what, I see you, I'm proud of you. Even though I don't know you from nothing, but I respect that resilience. I respect that you're here because most of the people, they could have folded in a towel and you refused to. So I see that. We got to take opportunities to see people, to rarely see them.
It's great you said that. I just made a new friend. Her name is Jess. She 2 years ago got into an ATV accident, and she doesn't remember her life before that accident.
Wow.
She's in this chair now. She's paralyzed. Can't feel anything from the waist down. And what she do every day, she's making people laugh. She's upbeat. She's putting little quizzes on Facebook just to kind of, keep things interesting. Have you ever? And then you just vote yes or no. And I don't know, we just got to talking, and it's not like a love thing. It's more like, man, like, how do you do this? You're inspiring me. Like, so now I've went to her house twice out in Colchester, I believe. It's a far drive, and I bring her wings, I bring her potato salad. We just sit and chat, and we talk shit about people, and we just, have fun. And I'm so grateful for that connection and what she has to offer, and she's grateful too for what I'm having to offer. And my words of encouragement and acknowledging her at all. But again, I saw an opportunity. She was there, and I'm like, I want to get to know her. I want to know her story. And now that I know her story, I'm shocked by how well adjusted she is to her new life. And it's so sad that she had this whole other life where she was adventurous. And, watching her be a mom, her little 4-year-old little guy, damn near brings a tear to my eye because, like, she lives with her mom and her mom takes care of her. But when she's in that chair rolling around, it's like she takes care of her damn self. And she's mothering this child just like any other mom would. It doesn't matter if you're on feet or wheels. You can still be a mom. And it's just, I feel for her because she had this whole other life. But I don't, on the other hand, because she is so well adjusted to her new life. And I just commended her for that. But I also want to mention, like, the music, the theme song for this podcast, that was an opportunity. The opportunity presented itself for another one, for your other podcast. And we actually me and my daughter, we went to record the other day, and we ran into a problem. So needless to say, the song's still going to get done. It's just going to take a little bit longer. But the problem has more to do with song format that the beat was created with. And we figured it out. And if it wasn't for us going to try it, we wouldn't have known that. So now that we know that, it's an opportunity for the song to be even better.
Nice.
So again, like you said earlier, I agree completely. Opportunities are everywhere. They are literally everywhere. So that's what I want to say.
It's beautiful because when you're so focused on what can be, you're not focused on what can't be. Right? You got to focus on those things. Right? Focus your energy on everything that is possible. So everything that you think is possible in the world, think about those things. And then as you think about those things, you're going to be you'll be in such a different state that you will be able to see these opportunities. Just like same thing, Big messaged me and he's like, I could tell he's pretty excited, right? He had an interview and the interview went well, like he said. So it's like, that's an opportunity to be like, yo, bro, that's what you've been working for. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what you've been working for. take that opportunity, learn more, be who you are, and then bring it back, right? So then we can learn from it. Everything's an opportunity, man. Sometimes we get so caught up in what we want that we're feeling to even acknowledge and to clap for somebody else. Sometimes just clapping for someone else is an opportunity, right? Where it's like, okay, man, like he cares about me. Yeah, man, for sure, man. Like I want everybody to do well, right? Because when you do well, then I feel good.
Yeah.
Right? I want you to do well. I want you to learn. I want you to apply anything, any lesson, or you might have took something from Drew. You might have took something from me. You might have took something from someone else. Doesn't matter. But we want everybody to be their best you, and I'm done. I tell people, I like to compete, and competing is fun to me. But I never look to compete to put someone down. I actually compete to bring you up. So I said, you know what? If you do 16, I'm gonna try to do 25. So the next time you're thinking, I'm gonna do 25 too. So it's really to level you up.
Yeah.
It's not to make you think I'm up here and you're down there. That's not the intention.
In many ways, though, it's also leveling you up.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
And I gotta take the opportunity and say this, and I mention it all the time. Like Jay, obviously, if you're not around, you're on my mind when it comes to this shit. You know what I mean? When it comes to life in general, like it's like, man, I took a video of Jay. I think I released it January 17th. We're on the way to chemo. I think this is like one of the first videos, maybe second video I was even doing with Jay. You could tell, like Jay, like when you look at Jay now, you look at Jay then, you can see a difference. You know what I mean? Jay had a little bit more of a scruff. He was in that winter bear moment. You know what I mean? But he was walking to chemo, not yet better. And saying I'm getting better. And he's admitting that, like, I'm human too. I have negative thoughts too, but I fight through them, and I just know that every day good news, and this is what I'm going to do. So for Jay to come this far, let's say 6-7 months later now, and then be cancer remission, I don't even know, like, what to say. You know what I mean? Like, I was in London the other day, and I ran into a friend that I haven't seen in a long time. She's like, I still tell people the story that you healed yourself through food because I had ulcerative colitis. And like, that's inspiring. But I look at Jay like, wow, and it's a scary thing. It's a scary thing. I actually have another close friend, Jay. I've been meaning to talk to you about it, and it's like I have another close friend. His mom got cancer for the second time. This is someone we know, but it's like, it's a tough situation, and all I can tell him, and I just feel his pain, you know what I mean? I feel his pain because more so than ever before. I don't know why. Like, I don't know why I just tapped in with him and just like everything he was saying, it was just hitting him like, this sucks. And especially knowing like, his background and where he comes from. And all I thought was Jay, and he had actually reached out to me and mentioned it before to talk to you. But this is like, such an important thing we're doing, And sometimes I'm human too. I get lost. Like, I don't know which way's up sometimes. I'm just kind of moving, And luckily things are hitting at the right times, right? Sometimes I'm thinking, am I in this place too long, or should I be working over there, or should I be doing this? Like, I know I talked to Jay about this, or I did this, and I gotta keep it all together. But then the more I kind of let go of the wheel and just appreciate, like, it's all coming together. It's all coming. It might not be my way. It might not be your way. It might not be your way, but it's the way, and it does come together, especially, with our headspace of like looking at everything as an opportunity. The core things I learned from our relationship was, flipper, flip the situation,
right.
Flip the negative to a positive. I said it today in the interview. Be the asset, not the liability. It was like Jay speaking through me, and that's just the truth. Those just core things, right? Even if we got into a little, brotherly tussle, whatever you want to call it. Like, at the end of the day, what do I hear the day before, the day after that? It's, man, screw that shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's like in the moment again, like we don't got time
This
to be
is passion.
thinking and have,
For sure.
right? And like you said it your best yourself. Sometimes we're just hurt at things we actually care about. Sure. We care about it. That's why it hits that sting. Like, if there's a guy at the side of the street, my culture says it all the time, you ain't gonna say nothing.
For sure.
If a guy did something across the street, like, you don't care. You only get mad at the people you love, And sometimes it's hard to see it that way, but try your best to see it that way. Put yourself in other people's shoes. Don't get pissed. You know what I mean? Try not to. Obviously, you know, shit happens, but you know, there's always usually a rhyme or reason why the person's acting this way, whether it's, you know, their upbringing or their environment, their mental headspace. As long as our energy is, you know, focused on moving forward and getting better, man, I love it, man. I love it.
The thing is, man, you know, I love doing a podcast.
Absolutely.
You know, and I try to think back and say, what was the thing? Why did we start? You always got to think about, why did you start? Was it to go viral? No. Was it to impact others, to be vulnerable, to share your story? Mm-hmm. Right? I'm going to gain more from anybody's story if it's the true story. I'm going to gain something from Drew just because he spoke about how he had to go through things, and he was transparent, and he allowed himself to be vulnerable to tell us that when he first had his son, it was difficult, it was trying. You know, when he shared his thing about his daughter, those are the things I'm going to learn from, right? How, you know, like, you're going to learn from people's experiences. Are we saying we're the experts? No, we're not saying we're the experts. But we're three men that got a heart. And if you can learn a lesson from us, then so be it. I'm not here to try to make it go viral. I literally don't care about all that stuff. That stuff is just nonsense to me. Right? Now, if it does, and people do take it in, and they share it and whatever, that's great too. Mm-hmm. That's definitely great.
That means we can reach more people.
Because that's what, exactly. So, but I think that we have to, like, just for the viewers or the listeners, that we're three humans trying to do the best we can in life. And I think that's what everybody's trying to do. I don't care if it's females, I don't care if it's males. Everybody's trying to do the best, man. And sometimes we do fall off that track or that path. And sometimes we just need assistance to get back on it, man. Mm-hmm. Because who comes into your life at certain moments? Sometimes that person came into your life for that moment. Sometimes you know you are the person that needs to put away your pride and go embrace that man or woman. It's like, you know what? At the end of the day, it's like, what do I care about more? Do I care about being right, or do I care about you?
Right.
And if I care about you, I don't care about being right. Right? It's an opportunity for you to see my kindness and my love for you.
I'm calling it right now. When Jay, your fantasy factory is done, we gotta get a podcast in there, bro. You gotta get it. Gotta get the gold. Gotta get the black. I need all that
for sure. That's what it's there for, right? Yeah. So once this thing is done, we're gonna everything. If you know I'm not talking, I'm stepping up. Mm-hmm. you know I'm up to something. So, but I just want us to be in a relaxed environment. I want us to have a beautiful visual. Mm-hmm. So not only are the words good, but the visuals match.
Right.
Right. We owe it to the people.
We owe it to ourselves.
And we owe it to ourselves because we are, to be honest, and I'm not trying to toot our own horn, I think the things that we talk about are on the same level as anybody out there. I think it is. I think it's right there. It's not like we're saying some stuff that has nothing, no quality to it, no value. I said we just have to just keep being persistent and using it as an opportunity just to keep practicing.
It's amazing how good we're getting, though. I can speak for myself for sure. How comfortable I am on this mic today, it's day and night difference. Day and night.
I gotta chime in on that. So one of my biggest fears have been public speaking for years. And today I watched a little girl. She got up there, which was courageous for her to even grab the mic, but she ended up freezing up. And that, that's fine. It's a kid. Everyone encouraged her. She kind of ran to her mom, and that's how it ended. But as I was getting closer, because there was like a line of us that were about to go up to speak, I was also on the same page as her. There's 5,000 people. Don't screw this up, Drew. Don't say some BS that is gonna kind of take away from the momentum. Mm-hmm. So when I went up there with a clear-headed mind. this is bigger than me, my nerves, my feelings. My son is with me. There's a bunch of kids. The whole community's coming together for a very, very healthy purpose. Don't worry about your nerves. Just speak from your heart. So I grabbed the mic and I realized almost right away, this podcast has been growing me as a speaker
beautiful.
a lot better. That was the first time I didn't really stumble. I said everything with conviction. I made eye contact with multiple people. I basically scanned the whole crowd. I'm proud of what I did, but I also spread joy and love. You know,
So saying you
And
went Kyrie, you just did you just shaking
no,
big.
we're not going to compare me to Kyrie. He's a dope baller, but
No,
his
no.
little off-court antics don't do that.
That's another podcast.
Yeah,
Stay
yeah.
tuned.
But this podcast, I definitely, I'm going to say that it's giving me practice in other avenues of my life, including how I deal with people, how I have conversations with them, you know, how I manage myself and my appearance. Like, this podcast is basically giving me the discipline to become a better version. And again, opportunity. You never know what one opportunity or how many opportunities will be created from one opportunity that you took.
For sure.
You know? And for that little girl that froze up, I'm going to take a little lesson just to give to our people, our viewers. In life, when we become adults and we can't figure out what we want for dinner, we don't know where we want to go, we freeze up when there's conflict, we don't know what to do. I'm going to say this to you right now. When you stand in the middle of the road, you end up getting hit from both sides. So just make a move and see where you land and keep going from there.
Yeah, because we're not looking for perfection. We're looking for progress. And the only way you're going to know if you're doing right or wrong is by moving, right? If you're staying in the same spot, how do you know if you're doing something or you're thinking something that will work? A lot of times we spend a lot of time overthinking and thinking and say, you know what, like this is an opportunity to learn something, man. Because even if you don't get it today, you'll learn it tomorrow.
Facts.
You know, you get on the mic. That's why it's funny because when we first started, when Big was like, just get on there because he was a little nervous, right? I'm just like,
Just a
man,
little bit.
right? I was like, man, just get on there, man. Just see what happens. And then as I see him going, and then I see him getting more confident with it. So it's a beautiful thing because he's now learning that, yeah, like everything is going to be uncomfortable at the beginning. Everything will be. You know, if I remember when I first went to university, you know, and I went to the U.S., I didn't know anybody at the school. Nobody. I didn't even meet the coach at the time. I didn't meet anybody. But I knew for a fact when they said, okay, you're going to come up here and do it? I'm saying, okay, I'm coming. I didn't know what I was getting myself into, but I knew I wouldn't quit. I knew I wouldn't fight. I know I would keep fighting. But that experience alone taught me independence. It taught me, bro, it doesn't matter where you're at. You're good, right? You'll find somebody similar to you. You will. Right, because your aura or your personality, whatever, is going to radiate. It's going to attract. You know, but I remember those feelings, man. You know, being 18 or whatever, and you know, now you're just gone, man. Like it's like, and then that was at the time when I was going there that we didn't really have the FaceTime and stuff like that. So when you actually left. Right? It's like, all right, I'll see you in 4 months. like you're not talking to people. Like now it's a little bit easier. You can text people, you can stay in contact. But at that point in time, you really couldn't.
Back then, Jermaine, I don't know if Drew told you the story. He had this pigeon, right?
Who did?
Jay did.
You had a pigeon?
He had a pigeon. He would write little notes. You know what I mean? It was the only passenger pigeon to survive in the 1900s. I'm playing.
Man.
Right? He thought he had the can with the wire in it. Right?
Pigeon whisperer.
Right? So,
I actually bought that for a second. I feel like an idiot. I was like, damn, Jay's in everything. Started to open up a Kentucky Fried Pigeon.
so all those things, man, gave me the confidence and opportunity to start being a grown-up, being an adult. Like I needed those. I needed those things.
Y'all are dangerous, man.
Yeah. Right?
No, y'all like. I'm thinking of it right now. I'm thinking of both of you guys. I'm thinking like, yo, that. Your bag goes deep because of the pain you processed.
For sure.
Yeah.
Your bag is way deeper because of everything you guys went through.
For
You know what I
sure.
mean? And just that much more water.
For
It
sure.
can hold that much more water and has that much more weight. You know?
And the thing is, it's a beautiful thing. I tell people, I said, whatever you go through, share it, because someone needs it. Right? Someone needs your story.
Yeah.
Someone needs your voice. So when I started going on these things, bro, trust me, I was total opposite. I wouldn't do these things. I didn't care about them. I was in my own lane. But then when I started realizing I got to share my story, that's what gave me the courage. I have to share my story because someone out there is looking for that story. They're looking for it. So I have to do it. And even though it may be uncomfortable, because when I first started doing it, it was uncomfortable to me too.
Oh yeah.
But I did it so much that it became so comfortable. But the basis of it was I need to share my story for the people that are going through something and they need that inspiration, the motivation. That's what they need right now. So how would it be if I could provide that, but I didn't? Only thing now is, like I tell people now in my life, I just embraced who I was. I just embraced everything as an opportunity and say, you know what? Bro, you got so much more. You've been holding in so much wisdom, so much knowledge, and you've been keeping it to yourself that people don't even know really who you are. And then as I started sharing it, it started releasing the things that were in me. Like it started giving me some freedom and saying, you know what? Yeah, man, I'm not perfect. Right? I'm not perfect at all. And I embrace that. So then that way, if you're not perfect, you don't feel bad either. But we can progress, right? We can always progress. So it's like I told people, I said, I was talking to some people at my work, and I was like, just think about this. You know, I said, think about RAD, R-A-D. They're like, what do you mean? I said, if you show respect, you'll change your life. That means you show respect to the people that are teaching you, show respect to the people who are less unfortunate, people that are underneath you as well. You show that respect. You always give respect. And respect is not something that they have to earn. You just give it. And if they abuse it, so what? So be it. I gave you respect. And then I said, the R is for respect. The A is for attitude. How you come into a situation will determine your destination. If your attitude is good, you'll be able to fly. If your attitude is bad, you will see and spot the things that are not going well, but you won't do anything to fix them, right? And then you talk about discipline. It's able to incorporate all these things that you've learned, but able to do them, right? You are who you say you are.
Attitude, discipline, and the first one is?
So the first one is
R.
respect.
Respect, got it.
Respect, attitude, discipline. And then I say what that equals is excellence.
I have a question. Last podcast, you talked about act until it's a fact. Did you make that up?
Yeah.
You killed that.
Yeah.
Oh my God, destroyed that.
Yeah, it'll be in the next track too.
No, destroyed that. I was telling my friend that. I was like, yo, that's some quality information. You know what I mean? Actor until it's a factor. I was like, God damn.
Yeah, because if you think about it, is when you're acting is what you're just playing a role. And then as you play the role so long, you become that role.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? If you're always thinking, I'm going to be happy today, I'm going to be delightful today, I'm going to be optimistic today, and you keep doing that, who are you? That's actually you now.
Or just say I am.
Right?
I am.
Exactly, right? So when we play these roles, so when people talk about acting, right? Actor, act. When you just add the F and you say, now I'm a fact, it's a fact. What I was acting has now become a fact. If I keep acting like I'm a basketball player, eventually they will start acknowledging me as a basketball player.
I want to say this too. It's like I was watching this video, and I don't know why it just told me. It's like after this video, your life will never be the same. I was like, all right, hit me. Tell me what it is. I'm ready. You know what I mean? I got my popcorn. But it told me like we always, it's so crazy. As I'm getting older, and you guys are a little bit more age older than I am, but the same things that would hit me, like the same lines that didn't hit me are hitting me differently now. The same words.
For sure.
Right? Maybe you guys can attest to
sure.
this. Shoot, I lost my thought. What was I saying?
The same
Words would hit differently.
Yeah, before that.
Oh,
I don't know, man. as you're getting older.
You were taking me somewhere. I was just like,
Yeah,
okay,
I know,
what's
I
up?
know.
Right.
We'll get back to it. It's really cool though. It's really cool. It's definitely really cool. But as I guess I'll just say what's on my mind right now. As I'm getting older, I'm realizing things aren't as serious as I took them before.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Sometimes like a small thing would happen, I would take it as the end of the world.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like it's like, damn man, it's the end of the world. But I'm realizing that I'm waking up every day, you know, and it's like, damn, another opportunity.
Exactly. You know, because it's like even sometimes we take things so hard.
Right.
So hard.
We feel a test. It's like, oh my God, my life is done. No, it's not. You know what I mean? I'm not saying you're not supposed to be disappointed because you might have failed the test, but it's an opportunity to learn from it.
Yeah, like this exact thing I did right now, which I forgot, and then I just kept going, and I'm not even thinking about what I forgot about. The same thing 3-4 months ago, I would have got stuck on. I would have been like thinking like, damn, I forgot, damn.
Right.
And now I'm like able to let it go and like let it flow and just chill. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then like I said, you got to come back to it. Sometimes, you know, when you're speaking about, sometimes you see things at a different time. It's because your eyes weren't adjusted, right? If you think about it, like sometimes when you come out of your house and it's really bright, your eyes got to adjust, so you don't see things properly. Sometimes you go in a dark room, and as your eyes adjust, you can start to see, right? So it's not necessarily about that you couldn't see it. It's just the timing was wrong.
And patience. You
And the
require patience.
right? Because in order for you to actually embrace these things, you have to go through something so you can actually see it, right? For me to actually care about the mental health of somebody else, I had to be in that state of mind to actually care. Because before, maybe if I was 10 years younger, maybe I don't care as much, right? Because I'm thinking something different, you know. And as you get older, that's why as you get older, you're supposed to get better,
Yeah.
right? You're supposed to get wiser. It's not that you're getting better physically, you're just getting smarter, right? You're just seeing the things that's important in life.
Y'all making me excited to be 45. No lie. Like, damn, I'm gonna be monster at 45. I'm just thinking.
No, but
I plan on it.
no, but the thing is, if you think about it, is this. I talked to someone else. I said, we've been doing podcasts for, say, 6 months, for example. We think it's so long.
Yeah.
We think that we've been doing this for years.
We have it.
But it's only been 6 months, right? So imagine if you had that same urgency of everything else in your life, of trying to improve, right? Because now it's like, oh, we got to get better. We got to get better. No, that's what you should be doing for your life. So sometimes the last 15 years, the last 10, you actually wasted, right? But you can't beat yourself and get mad, because if you do that, then you're not going to worry about the future.
Right.
Right? You say, okay, you know what? The last 10 years, I actually wasted my life because I didn't really move the needle.
Right.
I didn't really get better.
You know, one thing, like a theory has been going through my head, and it is about intention. It's like, let's say you ask for a lot, right? Let's say, okay, I want to achieve great success. I want to impact 1 million people, whatever it is. Now that you ask for this, subconsciously, unconsciously, the universe, whatever you want to call it, is going to test you.
For sure.
It's going to bring in tests into your life, and they're going to really push you to the brink of like breaking your old habits. And if it's something you still want, your heart still wants it, it will break you until you form and you are a phoenix out these ashes. I truly believe that as well. Like, and a lot of the times, man, keep it 1,000, a lot of our shit isn't even our shit. No. It's just truth. Like, let's say my parents never communicated. What do you think's going to happen to me?
For sure.
I ain't going to communicate either.
For sure.
And now I run into another individual, and I feel like technology and all these things are kind of making us progress faster, quicker.
Yeah.
You know, because we have to go through this shit. We're like seeing all these videos, understanding all this information, and like we have to process it quicker. So now, like, as I'm seeing it, I'm able to, do that for myself.
But if you think about it, right, you have to break through.
Yeah.
Right? The dog on the chain never ventures out. He never sees but only the little circle that's surrounding him, as long as the chain is. Sometimes you have to break through these things. And the breakthrough of those things are very extremely painful.
Yes.
Right? So when you're thinking about growth, you're thinking about pain.
Yes.
And those go hand in hand. Right? When I grew the most, it was some of the most painful experiences I had. Always. And it's like, sometimes it's like, man, I don't really want to do that again. You know what I mean?
Growing does not come easy.
Right? It doesn't. Right? And that's why they talk about growing pains all the time.
Okay, I have a question because not more of an inquiry. I read a book a while ago, and it really spoke to me. And I would read a chapter a day, and eat my fruit. And it said you can grow through joy, or you can grow through pain. Most people choose pain, and eventually, you feel the pain so much you break through to the joy.
Yeah.
And then you start growing through joy.
Very abstract way to.
What I'm seeing with us
Operate.
as well, and this is so true, man, like the podcast is a beautiful thing because, it's like we're coming in here, no expectations. We're laying it out here, and the intention is just to whoever's listening on the other end to gain something and to have their life be better. That's the intention.
That's it.
That's the intention. Now, what that grows into is such a magnificent and beautiful feeling because we didn't expect anything. We just wanted to give something.
Right.
And in turn, I'm healed too. Like I'm getting healed from this conversation. I'm thinking 20 years from now, what are we doing? You know what I mean? Like what kind of
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be honest, at the stage of life I'm in right now, sometimes I can't see forever with everyone. So for me to even have the thought of 20 years from now, where this podcast is and what we're talking about and all these conversations we're having to make each other better is I don't know. I feel like it is a beautiful thought. It makes me feel good inside.
It's funny, man, because I was talking to the people at work, and I was like, as I went through all these things, I'm fascinated with telling people stories. I'm actually fascinated with it, of where they came from and what led them to this path. So, and that's what started me, like me and Baker's going to do, documentary or series or whatever it is. But that's where that came from. And it's not because I just want to tell people stories, and I find that if we want this to be successful, we got to be willing to tell ours. We got to be to tell our true story.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to resonate. And you don't have to be an expert, and you don't have to be a know-it-all, and you don't have to stir up trouble, and you don't have to do that. You just tell people and say, you know what, man, I've been where you've been, and I'm not saying I got to figure it out. The only thing is I'm trying to figure it out. And there's a lot of people that when they look on people on the internet, they assume that these people have everything figured out.
Right.
You assume that they're so smart. You figure, but you don't see the background of them, of the struggle, of the pain, of the things that they're going through. We just always assume that the person that we look up to or that's out there, that they know everything.
Right.
And a lot of times they're going through the same pain as us. So if you look at it, even you go to the gym, I start to look and I'm like, man, that person's probably going through some pain right now. Right? And it's not to feel sorry for them.
How do you know? Like
I just
feel it?
I just feel it. I just feel it. Like I see it in their eyes.
I can see it too.
Right? I see it in their eyes. And because the reason why I see it in their eyes is because I had it in mine. Right? So I can recognize it. Right? Because sometimes people might have thought I was great and I was good. When I was at school, no one knew what I went through. No one knew that I lost my sister a year before, that I lost my father about 2 weeks before coming up there. No one knew this, right? They didn't understand that, right? But now I see that in other people.
Yeah.
I see that their pain. And the opportunity is, since I went through so many things in my life, that I can see things in you that you went through. And if I didn't go through the things I went through, I might not see that same pain. So sometimes when I'm talking to Drew, I can really relate to him. And even though he went through something different than me, but I can see his pain and I see his love for his children and I see that he wants to be a better him, right? And that's what I love about it, because it's like, you know what, that makes me honored to be next to a person who wants that. You know what I mean? It makes me honored to be at a table where I have two people that they're not perfect and I'm not perfect, but we're trying to help people while we're being imperfect. That's hard to help somebody when you're trying to help yourself.
Facts.
That's very difficult. So it's like, when I look at his shirt, I think about a person, he's at the top of the mountain. But I think about that person's reaching up his hand trying to get to the top of the mountain. But what I sometimes see is, I'm not at the top of the mountain. I'm helping you to get there. I'm not even there yet.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? I'm not there yet at the mountain.
People-
but I want to help you climb just like I'm climbing.
Yeah. Like a candle, when you light it, it doesn't just light up its area. It lights up everything. It's a light. You can see it from a mile away. You can see a light, you know? And people mistaken themselves when they, you know, when you feel envy and jealousy. All these are natural emotions, but you're kind of twisting it because the fact of the matter is they're shining, and it's shining on you. And now it's showing you that you can shine, and then you can shine on people. So when you're winning, it's so important to be that abundant person, because it's not just winning for you, it's winning for everyone. You know, we're all winning together. Like, as if I treat someone, we talked about this before, if I'm treating someone on the outside badly, poorly, or in a way that's not respecting them, or whatever, I'm doing that to myself.
Right.
And that's why I feel like we do have a conscience in the first place that kind of pulls us and shows us, you know, maybe the right thing to do and how to move. And Drew, I feel like you have something to say.
Yeah, I was referring to pain. Like, some people, like, you know, they go through something and then someone else is like, oh, I went through that too. It's like, you can't compare pain because everyone's different. Me and you could go through the exact same situation, and maybe I take it harder than you.
For sure.
And that's where, you know, it gets a little foggy. But I just wanted to mention that, and never compare pain, because everyone handles it differently. There's different levels to everything in life, and it's all about how you manage to go forward with your pain, how you react to things. But I wanted to react to this.
Let's go.
I am not this guy up here on the top. I was the guy on the bottom, and I had no one at the top. So when I had this vision to put this logo together to help people, it was to let them know that I was once them, and I can get you to the top. But at the same time, the top is only the bottom of the next. It's never over. There's always going to be an opportunity for us to pull each other up. And so you said something earlier about, you know, the vision we have for this podcast is to give these people something to walk away with. What's funny, when I walk out of here, I'm driving home and I got something from it. And then the next day when it's posted, I'm listening to it and I'm just like, man, it's like, did we really do this for them, or did we do it for ourselves? Because I'm feeling enriched from what we're doing. And so that's how I know that it is helping someone out there, because it's helping me. It's helping you. I bet you that you will feel better. I know you walked in here sick. I'm not saying you're going to be cured by the time you leave, but I bet you do feel better right now.
For sure.
And text me too. I want to see you at the gym tomorrow. It's been a minute.
For sure, man. No, because the thing is, when you focus yourself on the positive things in life, even the things that are holding you back, you just look at them as temporary. It's just temporary.
Oh, that reminds me. I ordered something cool, a little film thing. I don't want to swear, but it's cool. Jay, you're gonna like it a lot, like a lot.
Is it going to help this too?
It can.
Okay.
Yeah, it can help this.
It'll
help you too. It'll help you too, like a lot.
Okay.
So I don't want to say too much here, but
yeah,
I just want to take time. I want to shake your hand, Drew.
Appreciate it,
man. You know me, I appreciate you. I haven't always we haven't really gotten a chance to really get down, and it's a lot of it's me too, right? It's hard for me to share everything that I feel, you know what I mean? And so I'm working through my own shit, but I want to say thank you. Like, even the what I saw today right now, it's like, damn, like the well goes deep, you know. And I want to commend you.
I appreciate that, man.
And I appreciate, God put me here. And it's something we're doing every week, and I can feel the momentum, regardless of any little knick-knack things. You feel it, like you feel like a little like horses, like you're like,
for sure,
yeah.
You hear it and you feel it, and so I know we're headed somewhere. And Jay, always love too. Always love, brother. Always. You know what I mean? It's a beautiful thing, man. And shit, man. I have ideas, but I'm gonna share them after. And I'm noticing this about myself right now too. I do have a lot of ideas. My mind goes a lot of places, and sometimes we have to pick one and go with it. Sometimes we have to cycle through a few of them and see where we head.
Do you ever scrap your own ideas before you even talked about them?
100%. I have a folder. I'm just gonna keep it straight. Nobody tries to hack my phone and shit. We got problems. I'll put Drew on you. All right, you don't want that problem. But anyways, I got some in a separate note app where it's ideas after ideas. And the craziest thing about me is I don't go back and look at it as much as I think I should, because I might find a jewel. Another thing I want to recommend people that do write their ideas, describe your idea fully, because the fact of the matter is the next time you pull up, even though you might remember it's RAD, like, you know, Jay's an expert. You know what I mean? You don't want to do the RADs right now. Write it out fully. Write your idea out fully, every detail you can. If you don't want to write it, type it, put the voice thing on and say it. But record it in your notes. That way, when you come back to it, you have a more of a clear image and more of a, you know, more of substance to come back to. You don't want to just write 3 words, come back to it. Like, what do 3 words mean? It's like you knew at that moment, but at the future moment, you didn't think of that moment.
Exactly.
You know, so make sure you write these things down. I think we're on to something. I know we're on to something because whatever I'm thinking of and these ideas, I know they're not for me. They're not for me. They're to make the world better, you know, and I ain't the most perfect human being. I got my own shit. But like, man, whatever that is, I want to let it flow.
Right.
Let it flow through me and I just be the vessel, and whoever it touches, let it touch, you know?
And the thing is, once you realize that you're not perfect, that's nothing wrong.
Yeah.
Right? Because no one else is. Right? Once you realize that, you're like, you know, I'm not perfect and I love me for me. Mm-hmm. Right? I might not be, you know, even still, like when I had cancer and, bro, I lost weight and I looked bad in a way, you know, but I never thought I looked bad. Like in my head, I still seen that person. I seen that dog. I seen that. I'm like, yo, I'll come back. You know, I seen that in me, right? Because I'm like, yeah, that's just the exterior of me. But you can't mess with the interior. You know, like if you look at a car, a vehicle, sometimes a car could be rusted, beat up, bunch of stuff. But as long as that motor's running, you're good, man. Right? You don't want the motor to stop and have the outside looking good. So I knew in my head, I know what's in me. I know what kind of motor I have. Right? I just got to work on the framework. I just got to work on the body. I got to work on some of these other things.
Yeah.
But I know what's inside. So for the viewers, I don't care what you go through. Right? And what you go through is hard. Because I'm never going to say it's easy. But when you go through it, what do you learn from it? You start to learn that the interior is more important than exterior. You start learning people. See, what I started learning is people. Not what they look like, not what they could provide, not how strong they were, not how fast they were, who they were. That's the people that I respect, who you are. I don't care what you can do. Right? I don't care if you can lift 1,000 pounds. I don't care about none of that stuff because that stuff is fun and that stuff is fine. But who are you?
Facts.
Right? That's the thing.
Who are you when the shit goes south?
Who are you?
Because when the shit goes south is when you really get to see someone.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know, when someone's up, you don't really get to see them
No.
in full light. When they're down, how you acting. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? What are you looking at? This is so very true.
Right? So I know you two guys, you know, sometimes we go through some things and I think it's necessary. I think a little bit of conflict is necessary. I think it is necessary.
You know what I say always now? Lately I've been saying, you can steal it if you want. Say, what's life without a little spice?
Right? It's true, right? So if you think about this, never in life everything is going to be as planned.
No.
Nothing will be as planned. And when you start thinking like that, you're like, okay, if this happens, then what do I do? How do I respond? Because it's all about how you respond to a situation.
Yeah.
You can't control the situation, but you know how to respond to the situation. That's how you get actually evaluated. How do you respond? Right? Do you get angry? Do you get violent? Because everybody, I was thinking about it like this. I said, everybody has these emotions, man. Everybody. The person that's in jail right now, he just wasn't able to handle his emotions. Right? He started thinking differently. Like your mind is so powerful that this person who's locked up might have been thinking bad thoughts all day. In the last week.
Yeah.
The last month. And it just built up and it built up and it built up. Right? And it's like, wow, like I'm like, you know what? I gotta be mindful that my stuff don't build up. But if I have stress, then I know how to handle it, right? That I know when to take a time out. That I know when to relax. Because it's like going hard is going hard, but sometimes you gotta go easy. And that's not bad. You know, as you go easy, that's an opportunity to learn yourself, to learn something. You know, Kobe Bryant, for example, you know, when he got hurt and he broke his, I remember he broke his hand one year, and then he just started using the other one. And they're like, okay, well, hey, how you shoot your left hand? Because I had no choice. It was an opportunity. It was an opportunity to expand upon what he's already doing. But he would have never had to expand on it if that never would have happened. So a lot of times, I remember that one time when I was with Bick one time, and we always used to say maybe, right? It was a maybe thing. You know, a person went to war, say if a person, he got hurt, a kid got hurt, he broke his leg. Everybody's like, oh man, I feel so bad for him. And then 2 weeks later, someone came for the army to recruit, but they couldn't take him because he was injured, right? So everything is an opportunity. You don't know why this happened, you know, because we get caught up in sometimes, man, why didn't they learn at this certain time? Why can't they figure it out right now? Why? We're impatient. But we're sometimes you're like, you know what? This is an opportunity for me to truly learn my son, truly learn my daughter, truly learn my friend. But yeah, we don't like it at the time, but it was necessary.
It was necessary. It's like going through a filter and coming out the other side in a better form. I know we're close to the end, so I'm not going to keep this long. But I learned something today that's crucial for us adults, especially the ones that have kids. I witnessed some of the people's kids down there at the rally misbehaving in a way, basically showing hatred towards counter-protesters. That's not, they were taught that. They saw that somewhere, they heard it somewhere, and it just goes to show, you know, kids are impressionable, very impressionable. So it's crucial for us adults, especially even ones that don't have kids, because your behavior is influencing any kid watching you. So it's crucial for us to keep ourselves in check, because how we behave, what we say, how we say it, and, you know, all of our actions will go into these kids' minds, and they will grow up and they will apply the same behavior as what you did. So if you want your kid to grow up and stand for the right thing, if you want your kid to grow up and show people love and respect, then you also have to carry yourself the same way. And, you know, some people out there, you know, we all have haters and stuff. Some people might have their idea of me personally, or Jay, or Bick. But I'll tell you this, what they fail to realize the whole time is our kids are watching our every move. So if you think that, it only matters what my daughter and my son think. You know what I mean?
Great point.
You touch on a good point, and I'll make the last one, because that one point that I forgot came back to me.
Good. See?
Yeah.
That's
And
how it works.
it was right off of, you know, what you're saying, Drew, and what you're saying, Jay. And it's the amount of time we spend thinking about something is how real it becomes. I didn't know the magnitude of that saying. But let's say you do have a negative thought. Damn, did he do it because of this? The more time I'm going to think about that thought, the more energy I'm putting into that center of me, of my energy centers as well. So that goes for a sexual thought. If you're thinking about sex now, what do you think? You end up craving more sex. It could be about, you know, it could be about light things too. Now you think about some good feelings, thinking about being free. Now what happens? Now you start seeing the freedom in the world.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's just something I'm learning, and it's a very beautiful thing, because it's putting the controller in my hand, and I get to choose about what I want to think about and how I want to create this reality. And like you said, you know, Drew, you said something beautiful about how we're impressionable. Is we are creating our community.
Right.
You are creating your kid's house. You are creating the dream that you had when you were a child. What are you creating? And what are you paying attention to? And, you know, with that, guys,
Good, man.
I think this is like our third longest podcast, or it's up there. It's up there right now.
I'm going to go ahead and say I think this is the best podcast I've ever been a part of. I feel it today. I really feel it.
I believe so too.
We'll be back next week. Peace.
Peace.
Love y'all.